feeling like I'm Akademiks.
And don't be suddenly eager to hit me up and have no discussions either. Now you gotta plan a meeting with me just like the...
Yeah, I survived, y'all. Survived. I survived. Your boy is here. We're gonna do a full stream today, but I'm top of the morning. Let's go make 10 bands real quick. Interesting sit down chat, I'll say that. Very interesting. Very interesting. I had some takeaways from the sit down. The takeaways I had from the sit down. I'll let it chill for now. I'll let it chill. It was filmed at WTF Studio. We're discussing how we're gonna put it out. I elected and voted for both of us putting it on our individual channels same time. I think at first, there was this idea that he puts up half, I put up half. You kind of watch both. You kind of show whatever. But I think I don't give a damn if y'all watch on his channel, my channel, as long as y'all see it. So I think if we get the full file today by Alex Media, I think we're good to go. I think. So maybe tomorrow. I could tell you my takeaways. I was happy with how the conversation went. Big takeaways is that, number one, we're definitely at war with Rock Nation. That was a big takeaway. We're definitely at war. Number two, I don't think they updated Charlamagne on the talking points because he was hitting me with the same brilliant idiot shit. This man's a little like that. It's all good. Number three, what was definitely, I do believe, is sincere. I think Charlamagne was like, I don't think he's trying to go to war fully behind it, and I think he does see some, at least what he's telling me, he values our relationship. So that's more of what he kind of cares about. But it was a lot of gaslighting. I ain't gonna lie to you. That nigga gaslit me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That nigga gaslit me about anything I was mentioning. You know what I mean? Yeah, y'all gotta see this. It's a good conversation. I score it. I scored 9-3. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we're gonna be adversarial, this wasn't supposed to be adversarial though. But I scored 9-3. First 9 rounds is me. My bad. The first 9 rounds is me. But the last 3 rounds, I'm gonna give it to him. You know why? Because that's where Charlotte shines through. Like, we do get to a point, it's 3 hours, where we start talking about career, how to become better, how to lead, how to have people look up to you, and how to move on. And also how to bring this hip-hop media shit together. I like that. I really like that. And, that was probably, if you watch the whole interview, you'll notice that's the time I'm the quietest, because there is still a lot to learn from someone like Charlamagne. But with the 2.5 hours before, that's why I said 9-3. It's like the Rock Nation gaslighting was beyond bananas. And I told him in that room, because Alex Media was cackling and giggling on the side. Love him, but he's just, he know where his bread is butter, not necessarily Rock Nation, but it's Charlamagne or whatever. I said, let's look at the comments. We're gonna look at the comments. The only preview I'll give y'all, there's one point this nigga Charlamagne was like, yo, Ak, I think you're losing it. I think you're manic. I'm like, yo, this guy. Yo, that's like the new strategy. They call everybody crazy. Kanye crazy, Drake crazy, me crazy. Everybody's crazy. If you say it's wrong, everybody's crazy. But I kind of leave it for now. Anyway, Top of the morning, how y'all doing? Y'all seen YB flash out on a couple people? How'd y'all like the Future album? Chat, you know why? And by the way, we did record a version of the interview. I'll give you more context. We recorded a version of the interview, right? So we have that version to kind of, as soon as I get sent the file, which I think I should get today, we're going to look at it and just make sure nothing is edited out. There was moments in there where Charlotte said, do you want this to be in it? I'm like, of course I do. There was even a moment Charlotte says, if we put this out. And I said, no, we are definitely putting this out because we got to start having public conversations. These private conversations are conversations that for me, I don't enjoy the private conversations anymore because it's too hard for me to judge the sincerity. I also said this conversation will be judged by the fans. The fans are too smart these days. You can't just do the, oh, nah, you tripping. What? No. Nah, Rock Nation's only giving money back to people. What? What are you talking about? Wait, what about this? What about this? You got to realize I'm like an encyclopedia. I'm bang, 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 bang. Everything I said, Shaw was like, nah, I never heard of that. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I only have good experiences with them. Okay, what about this one right here? It'd be like, Ak. He's like, I was just kind of worried about you because, nigga, I heard you say you felt that you think Rock Nation could possibly, because you say you have to bring mass security here because you possibly think they could get you killed. I said, Charla. He said, that's why. He said, I had to check on you. I said, Charla, you know there's a nigga who is actively saying that he felt Rock Nation put him in jail. Or not put him in jail, but actually taught him. One is saying that. And then the other one is also saying, Rock Nation made him stay in jail longer. That's Bobby Shmurda. I said, nigga, go on Bobby Shmurda shit. Bobby Shmurda right now is blaming Rock Nation for him having to do more years in jail. Because he got the Rock Nation appointed lawyer. Is that word? That happened? I'm like, come on. It's going to be a good convo. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It's like, Bobby said that? I said, all right, bet. I took it from the get-go. I said, Kaepernick. I can't wait for y'all to see that one. That's one of the parts I'm like, Charlotte better not edit that out. Okay, but I don't think he's going to edit that. I'm going to be honest with you. I definitely showed up with the OVO chain. You know, I know how Charlotte going to, when Charlotte's trying to fuck with a nigga, he very shrewd and smart. I made sure, because again, everybody know, I ain't hiding nothing what I'm affiliated with. And if that's my favorite rapper, I ain't hiding that. We ain't hiding nothing. I ain't going to be like, nah, man, no, I give everybody the same chance. Nah, nigga. So I popped out with the steak shirt, nigga, and also I popped out with the chain. Of course. Yeah. To my surprise, Charlotte had no Rock Nation attire on. Actually, but he did. He had one small pin, which was the paper logo. He had a small pin right here. And I was, at a few times, I'm like looking at it because I'm like, is that a listening device? I'm kind of looking, I'm like, is that a motherfucking listening device? But he had it right here on his jacket. Felt out of place, but I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Rockstar says, I'm not hiding, I'm compromised. Hey, I know that's like a buzz term that Kendrick said, but fuck Kendrick and fuck you, nigga. Nigga, I run media, I tell you how shit go. Kendrick, remember when J. Cole was like telling media niggas how to, J. Cole could eat a dick. Straight up. I'm in media, I tell you how it goes. Y'all niggas don't make the rules, I make the rules. I'm telling you, it's natural for someone to have some type of proclivity or biased in what they like. That is normal. Drake's my favorite. there is gonna be, when I listen to a Drake song and I listen to a Jay-Z or YNW Melly song, you know what I'm probably gonna like. That right there is not compromising. The idea that people are these like puppets that are like, oh, completely fair is not true. It's just not true. What I'm saying is that everybody has slight biases. For example, I think Shannon Sharpe is fair, but you all know LeBron is this guy. You actually rather know than not know. The nigga who spends most of his time not knowing or trying to conceal that they have a favorite, like Stephen A. Smith, the Knicks is his favorite team. Like, if you like this idea that people have no favorite, they don't lean one way or the other, that person's lying to you. God damn it. Cooked. Ooh, not cooked. Nah, oh my God. Whoa. That was crazy. I seen that little boy Rory sneak dissing me. And I'm like, nigga, didn't they just peel you off the pavement while you was going to a Jay-Z show, nigga? You caught a stroke. Like, nigga, I'm not even, nigga, like, you probably ain't even get discharged from the hospital, nigga. You not trying to go back fucking with a nigga like me. The boy had a stroke talking crazy about me. I'm like, yo, this nigga must be out of his rabbit-loving mind. Like, what's up with this boy? Boy said he caught a stroke. Nigga, you woke up off that pavement and still went to go hear Hove sing all that 444 shit. The last nigga you should be wanting to even sneak this is Big Ak. The last. They peeled the boy off the pavement. The boy caught a stroke. His dick so hard over trying to see Hove. His dick so hard for that. The nigga caught a stroke, seized up. On some Mona the Crackhead shit. They caught him off the pavement, peeled him off. Hey boy, wake up. Wake the fuck up. And the boy is talking about compromise. The nigga asked Jay-Z, can I propose to my wife? And he's talking about compromised. It's funny, because I think Grant hit me and he said, yo, Ak, you seen they say Rory caught a seizure? You know what my response was? Why the fuck is you telling me that, nigga? Nigga, if he ain't die, nigga, don't give me no fucking update. If it ain't a flat line on that bitch ass nigga, don't give me an update. The fuck? Wait, he recovered? Hit me when he's on the way to the morgue. I don't got time for that, nigga. The fuck? Man, I'm getting killed over here. Man, this shit, I'm wrecked already. God damn, this shit's crazy. Grand gave me that fucking update, man. Pissed me off. I'm like, so you tell me the bitch ass nigga caught a stroke and he's still potting? Fuck. Job not complete. Let me know when this nigga is iced out of here. And yes, I hate him that much. Yes. Yup. Hate him. Yo, Ak, did you hear that? He caught a stroke? He's talking about it. So you're telling me he lived to talk about it? Fuck! Man, could I stop losing? Nah. Them ads ain't got nothing to do with what we doing over here. Like, them ads is coming from Kick is trying to, like, they eventually gonna try to put ads on the whole platform, you know? But they're like testing it, but they're not testing it in regular categories. So anytime I go in slots and casinos, that category. So just look at the category I'm in. They only run ads there. Trust me. That's they've been doing it for like a little while. Yeah. All right, man. If I lose this, I'll have $18 for like an hour. What up with y'all though? I'm excited for the convo. I am. I'm really excited for the convo, you know. Somebody said Jay-Z tried to kill me. Nigga, I did. When I pulled up, I spun the block a few times. I spun the block a few times. I figured there was gonna be a nigga at the end of the block, because the place was at the middle of the block. Nice place, by the way, but you know me. You know how they said, I kept it like the Titanic, nigga. Women and children first, nigga. I told the shorty I was with, hop out the car and you see if what's going on out here. You know how them ones? Like, yo, you hop out the car and figure it out first. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and then you go figure that out. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I am very excited to hear how the fallout is gonna be. I think what Charlotte tried to get off was all of y'all keep blaming Rock Nation for things, and all of y'all are losing it. These people aren't worried. He literally kept saying that. Still, I'm like, how you mean they're not worried about it? And then he tries to go. You know, we tries to get to like the gambling stuff, and I just don't think he had the updated facts to make the convo or how he wanted to go that way. But he tried. He definitely tried. I want y'all to hear the casino conversation, though. We had a good talk. We ended on a positive note. I tried to tell him about the whole deposition. I told him about he claimed he's so cool with Desiree Perez. I'm like, all right, did you know this about her? I don't know if he was playing dumb or I don't know. Really interesting conversation. It's 3 hours long, but for 2 hours, I'm navigating an extreme gaslit conversation. One that starts out with talking about Gran, then talking about these investigations, then the Jay-Z stuff, and then the Drake stuff. And a lot of Rock Nation stuff, and by the time after we get past a lot of stuff, I will admit, we do eventually get to, okay, what's happening in media and how two guys who are leaders in this space, how do we influence or try to help it for the better? That is the useful part of the conversation, I'll tell you. Somebody said, what? Why is only he asking you questions? I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's pretty equal. It's pretty equal, man. It's not just him asking questions. He obviously tries to ask certain questions. But the problem with Charlamagne is this. Charlamagne, he's not coming to the table super informed. And my only fear going into that was not really a fear, but I was just like, If Charlamagne comes in super prepared and has way more knowledge and info than me, maybe he stumps me at times, but I'm pretty knowledgeable on everything I've been talking about. When I heard him regurgitate certain things, and then I was stopping him. I said, okay, you keep saying you have these gotcha things on crypto, gambling, on Drake, whatever. Let's talk about it. Let's not just mention it. Let's talk about it. So let's go over allegation 1. Every time I would get in depth, I realized Charlamagne don't even know what he's talking about, respectfully. Like, so once I seen that, I'm like, you can't show up to this conversation with Akademiks and you don't, like, you're supposed to know all the shit. You're supposed to, me, I'm streaming. So, like, even now I'm talking. You're supposed to have some shit in the back pocket. Be like, all right, Ak, I know I ain't tell you this, but what about that? You're supposed to, like, just throw some shit out there and surprise me. Nigga, he was talking about a whole bunch of non-factual shit. I was like, Charlie, that's fake, right? I had to bring up the Epstein shit. I'm like, nigga, I said, okay, so if we say Jay-Z's on Epstein list, he quickly corrects me. Well, acting anonymous, it's an anonymous tip. He's not really okay, got you. You're right. So when you mention these clearly fake and fraudulent things about either Drake, myself, or someone else, why don't you jump that quickly to, like, add the nuance and add the context? Well, I'm just reading I'm just reading the Epstein files. I'm just reading it. That's all I was doing. You see how, and that the clip you see went up was me saying, you see how when it's someone you care about, you're quick to dismiss the overall narrative because it's lacking context. But when it's someone that maybe you're trying to, and that's why I say, it's a weak type of attempt at propaganda, I said, look at it. You're trying to get it over. No, and that, I basically said, that's why the propaganda from perceivably that side doesn't work anymore. Because I'm going to be honest with you, only a third grader would be fooled by that. And I don't even think they would be. So that would be the surprising thing. Even a third grader, in my opinion, only they would be fooled. Ooh, nice. 21. So, again, I think I scored things pretty well. Whoever is over at Rock Nation, I could tell they're panicking, bro. You know why? The talking points were not updated. I was expecting it for them to be updated. I'm like, all right. Charlotte's probably going to come with the big guns. He's probably going to get, like, the pre-meeting. The pre-prep meeting was going to be, whatever. The casino explanation was hilarious. The casino explanation, Charlotte was like, yo, Ak. He's like, but I did tell people. I said, Charlotte, yeah, you told people, AKA the info technically was out there, but for them to go find it, ain't nobody gonna find that bullshit, man. Damn well. And then I said, well, why didn't you tell people on the radio? Well, I didn't tell people on the radio. This is his answer. I didn't tell people on the radio. This was good. I didn't tell people on the radio because, and he admits, he says, if the casino went through, he was going to have equity. Okay. But he says, I didn't tell people because technically I had nothing until it got approved. He said after it got approved, he was going to tell people. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. But that's what he said. He said, so, because he did this thing where he's like, do you know if me invested in other things? I said, yes, I know you invested in crystals, a bunch of those. He said, well, why do you know it? I said, well, you said it. He said, well, what else you know I invested in or I'm in part? I said, well, I do know that you and Raekwon did something with some dispensaries. He said, how do you know? He said, I said it. I said, okay, I get what you're going with this, but why didn't you say the thing about the casino? Why? And he told me, he said, well, I didn't say it. He said, number one, it was public. I said, come on, you know damn well anybody finding that website, bro. You know damn well nobody ain't finding it. He said, well, there was nothing to tell until it got approved. But I said to him, I said, well, you're on the air kind of like promoting the shit. Why not just let people know? And I didn't want to do to him what I think he was initially trying. You know, he didn't do it in the interview, but like, I didn't want to have a legal conversation with him. So I avoided saying, well, you know, you could have been violating, blah, 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 blah. But he did mention during the interview, he said the people he needed to disclose it to, he did. And he said it was the government, and he did disclose it to his employer, which is iHeartMedia. But I then fired back, but what about the audience who you were telling that New York City needs it? I didn't really get an answer for that one. I didn't get an answer for that one. I didn't really get an answer for that one, chat. So according to Charla, because the casino wasn't approved, he didn't feel the need to just say it while talking about it on the microphone. He didn't need to say, oh, hey, by the way, I have some interest in this. He said unless it got approved, he didn't see the need to, you know, mention it. I guess. I don't know. Oh my God, 10? No. Ooh. What? Fuck. Damn, I lost that one. I needed that too. Needed that, bro. Freaking needed it. What up with YB? I think YB about to be back on his fuck this industry shit. You know how YB get down. I think YB's flashing out on a lot of people. We're gonna see. I know you went off on Future. We'll get to it. Did I win that? Or, oh, I lost that shit too. Jesus Christ. I can't win nothing, huh? I'm going to Keno. All right, another lost day for me, huh? Jesus. Yeah. Hmm. Future album's ass? No way. I'm not believing that. How's his album ass? Are y'all trolling me? All right, here we go. Let me do 40 games at $3. Start autoplay. Come on, I need to hit all three for something. You didn't know that Future dropped? His label's spending a bag on it. By the way, I want y'all to watch in the conversation. I'm gonna stream the convo whenever it's happening. So whenever, like, I'm gonna go with a premiere option, but I'm gonna stream it on stream and kind of break it down to you because I want to show you the goalposts being moved. Right. By the way, remember, Charlotte at one point said politics. We didn't talk about politics at all. Right. But we now, Charlamagne like this. He reads a poly market thing. He said, "Can I read the article, Ak?" This is why he got his phone out. It's like, I said, "You can read the article. Go ahead." He said, "Okay." So I said, "In that article, does anything even mention me?" No. Does anything mention the person you're claiming? His name is George. No. Why are you reading it? Well, it mentions Drake. Wait, so Drake rapped about poly market and that's the thing. Okay. Now, while talking about it, I asked him legit questions. I said, "What do you think?" Because what Charlamagne is doing, and even he kept reading 2 articles. One of the articles, I was like, nobody in their life has ever heard of this website. That's so obscure. It's one thing where, I pointed them at when they were going for the casino. We had Yahoo report on this. We had Yahoo. I don't know if CNN did. We had literally at least 5 to 10 major outlets, right? They report on it. I said, "You're reading something that nobody even knows who these guys are." Like the one article you claim you have on Grand, like no one even knows his website. Nobody's ever been to this website but you. I was like, "What's the name of the author?" "Well, it's Dalton." I'm like, nobody even knows who he is. He's just regurgitating what he's seen in some lawsuits, whatever. Anyway, as we're going through it, and I said, "I want you to," because you're being elusive and you're doing like, it's kind of like yellow journalism to a certain extent, where it's like, yo, investigations. Yeah, they're doing the illegal stuff. I said, "What do you think the crimes are?" And that was one of the moments I thought Charlotte kind of showed the lack of knowledge when he was like, "Look, they said whatever the Clippers are doing." So I said, "Charlamagne, do you know that clipping is not illegal? Do you know that I could tell everybody in the world this? Future's team record labels clip for their Epic just dropped a huge budget for clipping for Future. They want his album everywhere. It's not illegal. Since when is promotion illegal?" It's like, well, and he tries to change, but he can't properly identify. He's like, "No, it's because of the tipping feature." Okay, where are you getting this info that these people are money laundering? Where? Couldn't really say nothing. He was just like, "Oh, well, well, listen, they're saying this is the grand wizard behind the scenes." Okay, let's talk about the actual allegations. Well, they said that, like, he's the, okay. Do you believe, and I asked him vehemently and verbatim, do you believe that Drake, the biggest artist in the world, right, is botting his streams not through his fucking label, but through stake.com? Really? Are you serious? Well, I don't really believe that, but I think maybe people around him are doing it, and I think George is doing it. I'm like, so you have no reason to believe, or like, other than these allegations that just spew out theories. I'm like, okay, so if you said Drake ain't doing it himself, who do you think around is doing it? And I said, do you actually think Drake is botting his music through a gambling website? It was an interesting time, bro. It's an interesting, thing. Top tier gaslighting. I'll give him that. But all in all, my biggest accomplishment from there was, I'm trying to keep whatever in this media. Oh, got it. Finally got it. In this media back and forth to a particular level where we're not all just completely beefing and crashing out on each other. And I do think that conversation was a good start. It was a good start. Again, I'm going to continue to say, and Charlotte admitted, Charlotte says, I need to do the rounds. And I said, yes, you should do the rounds. You know, he said he's down to go sit with Joe and whatever. And I said, listen, there is sides in this media shit. There is sides. And he who hath no side usually becomes fodder for both parties to attack. That's what it's been. I also had to address the obvious. The obvious is, nigga, this shit started with Drake and Kendrick. And he was like, well, we have to change. I said, technically, we can't fully change it. And I referred to dancehall. I said, well, in dancehall, there was two artists, Vybz Kartel, Mavado, biggest artists in the genre. They went at it for years. The fans took it so serious that school kids would go to school and fucking get in fights and stab each other over the artists. That division did not just go away naturally because the media told them to. No, those two artists was actually brought in by government to sit down and say, hey, listen, this perceived feud you have has fucked up school kids. Now, granted, they made their decision on their own. Like, yo, listen, we're going to signal to the fans and everyone else that this is just music. This idea that what we're seeing in media now is not to be blamed squarely on the two people who perceivably hate each other on some Biggie and Tupac shit. I can't stop it. There's sides to this now. And if everyone was just saying, oh, it's just rap or it was just a rap battle, well, tell it to both of the artists and let's see if maybe both of them will show as a sign of, hey, listen, this is about the culture and we don't want to continue to push division. Maybe they'll be like, hey, we'll do an act of showing that we're, you know, not necessarily cool, but like, it's not like that. Everybody should simmer down. I don't think it will happen. Drake was called a pedophile. I wouldn't do it. Fuck you, nigga. For life. And then Kendrick, he's just a fucking hater. He's told you this. Like, he's never said, I'm the bring people together guy. He literally tell you, I am a hater. So, those two guys, I don't see them having any incentive for it. And then the byproduct of it, whether it's the fans or the media, I don't think there's no one that's powerful enough that could change the trajectory of it other than the artist. And the artist ain't never get on that wave. It's going to be what it is. Feel what I'm saying? Yeah, anyway. Yeah. One thing, and this will be the last thing I say about the interview. One thing I definitely feel I was successful in getting through the Charlamagne. And even though he was trying to gaslight the fuck out of me, claiming that Jay-Z is so big and so important and so powerful, he doesn't give a fuck about just lowly, irrelevant, poor me, and he doesn't think about it, and I am almost like manic. He actually used the words like, yo, Ak, you're losing it. Right? He did admit after he tried to gaslight and get out of it, but trust me, I did a good job holding him to the point. I said, could you at least admit that the general conversation around Roc Nation, when they're mentioned by the general audience, it's met with a lot of distrust. It's met with a lot of, hey, these people are snakes. It's met with a lot of, hey, we don't think these people are for us anymore. And he tried to gaslight. He said, no, that's just you. Everybody loves Rock Nation. Really, nigga? He said, well, it's just you and what you're looking at, your algo. I said, really? He says, there's 140,000 people that's about to be celebrating Hove this weekend. And I said, Charlotte, we're not talking about music. The guy makes good music. He has made good music. I've never knocked him on his I do think Drake is greater, but I can't knock it that he's still a top 5 nigga, right? They're there to celebrate his music. They're there to celebrate Jay-Z's music. That's not a reflection of the public sentiment about Jay-Z or Rock Nation. The public sentiment reflection is in what's happening now. And I'll give you 2 reasons. And that's why I realized, I'm telling you, like, I'm really wanting to make sure they don't edit this shit up. Because I'm telling you, like, nigga, it's like, nigga, I'm like Javante in the 5th round. I'm just laying it on. I'm like Floyd. I'm like Pretty Boy. I'm laying it on at this point. Cause the gaslighting, I'm dodging everything, nigga. All right, fuck that gaslight. Come on. When I give 2 reasons. I says reason number 1, Jay-Z, because remember he said Jay-Z's too big. He don't give a fuck. I said, so what? Why did he do an interview that said, I'm done playing defense, now I'm playing offense? Why is he sitting for 4 days getting his hair like blown out to go on a stage and rap about a bunch of people if he doesn't care? And Charlotte hits me with the, nah, he don't care about none of the other shit. He only cared because they were trying to call him like a pedophile last year. That's all he cared about. Really? He didn't only address pedophilia rumors, nigga. Like, he motherfucking addressed the Dame Dash, Skino Sparks. Like, come on. So, that already, I'm like, that's not true. It's just not true. He said all year this year is going to be on offense. But trust me, I was. There was a really huge attempt to gas. Again, I didn't even ask my team how they felt about it because they're standing off to the side. But just sitting there, I'm like, I'm in it, and I felt like I could be watching it at the same time. I'm like, this is going to be seen as either one or 2 ways. Either you're like, and those people never change their minds. Damn, Hack, he just called you to give you a heads up. Because he repeatedly said that. Yo, Hack, I just called you to give you a heads up. Like, what's up with this? And I'm like, bro, he's like, well, if I gave you the heads up, wouldn't I be snaking Rock Nation if what you're thinking is true? I said, no, nigga, you the heads up wasn't really a heads up. The heads up was, could you isolate yourself or at least neutralize this nigga Grand that he could stop attacking? So anyway, no, but the second point was, so that second point that I was trying to tell him about when he's like, Jay doesn't really kind of care. Wait, it left my mind again. What happened? I'm trying to go from memory here. Yeah, I said he literally did an interview about it, right? He literally did an interview about it. I forgot the other point. I made it eloquently, though. Again, I'm going to score it 9-3. Oh, yeah. So the point what I was trying to tell him is that there's clear and obvious signs that Jay-Z is acknowledging that his cultural equity just isn't the same anymore. I said it's the reason why he's decided at this time I'm going on offense. But the other reason is literally Jay-Z kind of realizing, hey, I can't get the shit off that I used to get anymore. And I pointed to him with this. That's how we started talking about the NFL deal. I said, well, it worked with Tidal. It worked with the NFL. It failed with the casino. And these days, any initiative, even when he does a Target drop, people just look at him as a snake oil salesman. They all look at him as a shiesty character. And he did try to do the gaslighting like, no, they don't. Why is 140,000 people going to watch him? And I said, that's music. That's music. And in a way, he kind of tried to, he conceded the point because he couldn't argue it. But he basically said what Jay's going through is just that Jay has haters. And I was like, no, it's more than that. He's like, you haven't even had a conversation with these people. Yo, I've teamed up with them. These are good people. Like, I'm doing some giveaway, this, whatever. I'm like, okay, perfect. I said, well, you're right about that. But and this is why you can't have no Rock Nation conversation with me unless you're Rock Nation. You know why? I know too much info. So now I start spinning Charlotte like a gig because he don't know what's going on. Or either he does know, but he just can't defend it. All right, so let's talk about how he co-opted Colin Kaepernick's move, snaked him, got the NFL deal. Now he's doing halftime shows. All right, let's talk about how he snaked 1501, Meg Thee Stallion. Now they put Tory. We know what happened with that. Okay, now let's talk about, Okay, all right, let's talk about Bobby Schmurder. He's right now, because remember, once he hits me with a manic thing, I said, okay, so let's figure out if all these people are crazy. Because I mentioned Nicki, and he was like, listen to who you're mentioning. These people, they're crazy. I'm like, all right, bro. So now I got to throw out the whole thing. And I got a lot. Well, it wasn't necessarily Uzi. Generation Now. Bobby Schmurder. Colin Kaepernick. And that was the only time I seen Charlamagne. He was measured. It was measured. Charlotte was talking about, he said, he told me more info I ever knew. He said, I was in the room with Roger Goodell, and I said, well, you were there for, I said, Nessa, which is Colin's wife, is saying the exact opposite. She's saying she got snaked. How were you there, which you were there in a press capacity? How do you know more than she knows and she's sleeping with the nigga? And he's like, well, I was privy for a lot of the conversations. I was like, okay, so a little bit more proof that you've been working or at least been involved in Rock Nation business for a while. Then he hits me with the Jay-Z was going to get this was to me, I think this is going to be the biggest call out. I think they're either going to edit that out or Nessa's going to respond to that. Basically, Colin Kaepernick had nothing to do with Jay-Z getting a halftime show. Charlamagne said that once I heard that, I'm like, did they send him the botched version of the talking points? Ain't no way. Nigga said Jay-Z was going to get that regardless. I said the NFL was trying to save face. Jay-Z came in with their partnership and basically told black people we're done with this kneeling bullshit. And they rewarded him with that. At first, they promised him a team. It's like, no. He's like, yo, I know about this shit. That deal was being worked on for a long time before Kaepernick. Really, nigga? That deal really started when they called in Jay-Z and they wanted Jay-Z to get more black and brown. Like, so the NFL just took it on themselves to say, let's bring in more Negroes to perform at our halftime show. The NFL did not feel pressured. They willingly called up. That's what Charlamagne did. They willingly called up Jay-Z like a year or so before and said, "Hey, listen, man, I'm not gonna lie. We need some more Negroes to come perform at the halftime Super Bowl show. Could you and Rock Nation take this shit over?" Huh? It wasn't because people were saying the league was racist. You had sponsors like Papa John's pulling out, right? They were like, oh, shit, niggas is kneeling. We don't want to be, that's un-American. We don't want to be sponsoring a league that allows that. They're hemorrhaging money, social justice-wise, they're getting killed, and also their sponsors don't want to sponsor them. So now they say, we got to bring in someone to stop this. Let's bring in Jay-Z. Jay-Z does a good job of stopping it. To reward him, they do a deal which was supposed to be $5 million per year, which is probably either ballooned or just expanded. And they've renewed that contract ever since. But ever since then, they struck the deal at that time that gives Jay-Z control of the Super Bowl. But we're supposed to believe it had nothing to do with Colin Kaepernick's situation. We'll see. He was careful in answering that. Because I said to him, I said, listen, Charlotte, you're doing a good job trying to paint to the public because, yeah, they haven't seen me and Jay-Z in a room together. That Jay-Z just like, that basically I'm shadowboxing with nobody. Okay, well, we do know Colin Kaepernick and his wife, Nessa, and Jay-Z and Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, there actually have been a real public moment. And I said, listen, you're going to have to pick a side here. Who was wrong or who was right? There's no way you could say both were right because one side is really unhappy. Colin Kaepernick feels like Jay-Z fleeced him, stole the movement, and definitely snaked him. That's how they feel. How do you feel? And he said, Jay-Z did nothing wrong. So I said, so you're saying that Nessa and his wife, they're either lying or they have a severe misunderstanding of what actually happened because you're vouching that Jay did nothing wrong with that. So I was in the room. Jay did nothing wrong. All right. So he was trying to DJ Khaled that. He was careful. He was trying to DJ Khaled that situation. By the way, Chay, I like how DJ Khaled is now the new, like his name is the new way to say Switzerland. The nigga who can't pick a side. He cool with everybody. He go to one nigga house, he be like, and they talking to him like, yo, you know them niggas shot at me last night? Be like, damn, he shot at you? Word? You go over to the other nigga house, be like, yo, I shot them niggas. I'm trying to kill them. Damn, you trying to kill them? Damn. He cool with both ops. He cool with both ops. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so Charlotte was trying to DJ Khaled that. I know Nessa will respond to that. Unless it's edited out. And if it's edited out, we got it on the backup. But he was very nimble. He was careful. He also approached it with love and said, listen, Nessa, I love you. And once I've told you I love you, I'll always love you. Almost like he was prepared for when Nessa sees this. She might be like, Charlotte, I know you got the badge, the Rod Nation badge, but what the fuck are you talking about? He did send love, but he definitely said Jay-Z did nothing wrong. And the ones that I brought up, I said, what about Bobby? What about this? What about that? He was like, I never heard of it. I don't know. Okay. Somebody said, what? I'm going to text Alex Media right now. Top of the morning. And I don't text men in the morning. Top of the morning. Charlamagne and I agreed to drop it on our channels same time. Let me know when we got a final version and me and him can coordinate what time we'll do the release. See, I got to try to get the edit quick. Never know. They might be like, shit, this don't look too good. Let's put a little AI in there. Just kind of, like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we didn't record with our own camera. We didn't have. So we have a raw version. It's not professionally like recorded. It's like on one of our handheld joints. So the goal was to get a fresh, unedited recording of every word said in the room. and then recording the body language of both people, what we all do. We have that. So I will be able to tell if I watch and I'm like, okay, there's something missing, I would give you what's missing. But, you know, if we were going to have, not saying I'm the most trustful person, but I'm going to hope they did not tamper with this type of stuff. You guys will know anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are going to know. So, I've texted him. It's 9 o'clock. Okay. Also, I'm opting and I'm trying to go for the non-collab version. So they told me we're going to upload it to Charlotte's channel. We're going to hit you with the collab. And I'm like, not so fast. Not so fast, brother. Not so fast. No. They're like, hey, we're going to just send you the collab request. We're just going to get you. No, not so fast. Not so fast. Not so fast. Hold up. I said, what me and Charlotte agreed, send one version, he could upload it, and I could upload it. Whoever watch it on his side, watch it. Whoever watch it on my side, watch it. Because I don't want the collab request, something happened, the video go down, I don't know where it went. Where'd the video go? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? I don't want that. I want, it should be the same video on both of our channels. Who gives a fuck? I don't care if it does 20K on mine, 1 million on his. That's not the point. It's not the point. I haven't reacted to the Future album yet. We're going to get into it later on today. We're getting into that Future album later on today. And we're going to uncover this Future and YB beef. YB called me yesterday. Was it yesterday? I'll give the fans this. I'll explain a little bit more when I get on the bigger stream. But YB did call me. When was it, yesterday or the day before? I'll tell you this. That boy was on bad timing. And if his attitude is going to match the music, pray for the industry. Okay? We'll leave it at that. All right. Okay. Alex says agreed. I know I lost today. We've hit our hour. By the way, you guys, thank you for, tolerating. I know this might not be the best type of streams, but I try to talk through it. I try to talk through it, give a little content. And for my clippers over there, like, you can clip out the gambling part. It's fine. It's not in my contract that I got to put the gambling part in or whatever. Yeah. And actually, we might drill. Yeah. You can just fucking crop out the gambling shit and put that up there. So, we will be back. I'm hoping. I don't think it's getting released today, though. But you know what I might do today, chat? I think today should be a big day for us. Should I drop Daphne Joy, that content? We should drop it. You know what I realized, chat? I'm starting to become a content hoarder. I have 4 pieces of content I haven't dropped. There's a Me and Vibes Cartel interview. there is. I did me and Q50. Q50 was wildin'. That nigga Q50 was wildin'. Me and Q50, me and Daphne Joy, and now me and Charlamagne. So I got 4 pieces of content. You know, I kind of like hoard the content a little bit because, bro, I stream all the time. And like I just talk. So like when content doesn't go out immediately, like we get to the review phase of like the last update on the Daphne Joy thing, which I just didn't even care to. They're like, are we showing the waiter's face? Because it was actually a date. It's literally the Daphne thing. I try to make content during it. You know, she's not really a natural content creator, but it's a date. No, it's an actual date. Like, that's what I'm saying. Nigga, it was actually a build. This nigga, it's not a fake. It was an actual date. Right? And there was just cameras there. So, you know, like, I think my team is looking at like, well, we could edit it in a way to make it seem like it's jumping off the page. You get what I'm saying? Like it's really exciting. And I'm like, I don't know if I like unedited shit. So I'm like, let them see the boring parts. Let them see those little quiet moments, which there really isn't many. But let them see when the waiter walks in the room and the waiter's talking to me and her. Like, yeah, what's the problem? I don't give a fuck about that. Right? Like, I'm not trying to, you know? Yeah, so might have to pop out with Daphne today. K-Cat says she has trauma. Hope you just got it. What? Somebody said, why am I editing the seat? I'm not editing the Charlamagne video. Yeah, rock with that. I'm texting Alex Media. He says, no doubt, I'm still exporting. When it finishes, I'll upload to a Dropbox and send a link. I'm about to pick out a thumbnail. Do you have a preference on your facial expression? Pause. So this is what it's in the final stages. I'm not editing. And by the way, I'm not accusing Alex of editing it either. I think he has to just sync the audio and the video. Like, that's kind of like normal sometimes, you know? You just got to, maybe there's an audio dropout, whatever. Not everything is ready to go as soon as it's shot, like it's live. So as long as nothing is edited out, I don't call what he's doing editing. I just call him putting the video together. You get what I'm saying? Somebody said that takes 5 seconds to do. Well, you think he say he exporting? What the fuck was he wanting to do? Oh, man. Chat, I love y'all. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? I'm going to see y'all later, all right? Peace.